These new Shellys. Oh no, at some point we're going to redo your little. Yes, not to say rescape, no. In your redo. In your good clean out. Yeah? Or we're going to just stick you in one of the dry up tanks and move you on. Either way works. Because you're not doing bubbers anymore. No. Should we start the stream? Do you reckon? Yeah. Someday shop do 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 do. Someday shop do 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 do. Someday shop do 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 do. Arr. Greetings, salutations. Hello, welcome friends. My God, that sounded serious and formal, didn't it? Well, that's generally as formal as it's going to get around here, so make the most of it. Welcome, one and all. Literally one. Yes, I'm back. Another Sunday. Same stuff, different week. Not really been a lot going on. Work, chores, and today was Mary's birthday, so there was that as well. Oh, and sold a bunch of fish today as well, which is always a good thing, especially when they come out of them tanks. We're running out of room. We've got another bunch of baby bristlenoses in there, so we need to clear one of them. So we've got somewhere to put them in a few weeks. But yes. Oh, and we've had a big storm come through the last couple of days in the UK. It looks like it's died off now. The wind is certainly less obvious. It's actually stopped raining as well, which is always a bonus. I'm hearing it was a lot worse in other parts of the country. We got the tail end of it, so glad I got my fence done when I did. Let's just put it that way. Oh dear. So yeah, it's always the way coming up to that end of December thing. Stuff to sort out, things to do, and yeah. Yalla. Once installed my B-Day, once you go B-Day, you can never go back. Never actually used one myself, but yeah, I'm not averse to the idea. You've got to be very careful with the temperature of the water. That's all I'm going to say. If the water's too hot, you're going to singe or scald bits you don't want scalded. And if it's too cold, you're going to be jumping up off the toilet in a real hurry. Woo! Good feeling knowing you've got the cleanest butthole. Well, you could always wipe properly. I've not had a bath this morning, so mine's pristine. Yeah, I had a good soak for 45 minutes. Should have got rid of the clingers and. But depend on who's on shift at work. Sometimes I do have the cleanest butthole in the room. What a way to start a stream off, huh? Discussing B-days and buttholes. Well, you're going to get demonetized. Do it early, I suppose. Yeah, so had a bit of a clear out. Sold a bunch of bristly noses, some limias,
Yeah, there's 20 fewer limia in there, but you can't tell. You've got baby food on your hands. Would you want to wipe it with a towel or running under some water and then wipe it with a towel? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't use a towel to wipe down there. So I know reusable stuff is all the rage these days, but yeah, I don't want reusable toilet rags. Oof. Especially with the state of what comes out of me some days. Itchy luggo. It's because I trimmed my ear hair this morning. So I now have stubble inside my ears, which is not pleasant. One of the downsides of getting older is that hair stops growing where you want it to and starts growing where it wants to, which is in places you don't want it. And yeah, generally just causes more discomfort than anything. Never mind. But then if I got baby food on my hands, I would lick my fingers clean. Well, no, I mean, even if I had baby food on my hands, I'd run my hands under the sink. But yeah, my hands aren't normally the cleanest things on the planet at the best of times. It's gives me a strong constitution and a good immune system. Yeah, it allows me to how to put it. It allows me to be less than 100% hygienic and not come down with every bug and dose of food poisoning known to man. But that's the way we used to be. Back before germophobia kind of happened and COVID and everyone wiping everything down with disinfectant or antibacterial wipes all the time. They're wondering why they keep getting sick. Yeah, you've got rid of your immune system. That's why. Go drink from the hose pipe. Go play in the mud. Then eat a sandwich without washing your hands. That kind of thing. Quite probably. I could probably use your butthole to clean my hands. No, actually, my hands are clean because I had a bath this morning, caught a bunch of fish, and I've been to the toilet since, so I have washed my hands. Because I'm a good boy. I usually wash my hands after I've been to the toilet. There are certain times I don't, like when I'm out on a bike ride and I haven't got access to soap or a towel or anything, or water. Then I just wipe my hands on my legs and well, wipe my hands on the shorts and carry on. But you know how it is. 28 months. Woohoo! Thank you very much, Lee. Actually, as I'm off Christmas week, and I've got a few days off the week before, I might actually get around to sorting out the membership thing and putting a second tier in for those weirdos that might want it. Not sure what extra I could add. Um, That'd be something. I would say uncensored videos, but I don't censor anything. I just try not to swear too much. Easier said than done sometimes. Yeah. I do keep thinking, well, maybe if I did a couple of reaction videos, then I'm thinking, what would I react to? There's like everything gets reacted to by lots of people, and I already like the good music. I don't think people would enjoy my reactions to current chart music or pop music or whatever it is called these days. Memes, I probably wouldn't laugh at half of them or get most of them, especially if they're anything anime or manga based. Since you moved out, you're a broke boy. Oh, yeah. I know the feeling. I know that feeling very well. I've been a broke boy before in the past myself. But hey, you're a broke boy with freedom. Pluses and minuses. It's, what do you do? Yeah. You'll get stuff sorted because whenever you move, there's always certain expenses that are one-offs, or you don't have to pay every month, like once a year type things, and yeah, it sorts itself out. You get there. Just have to start up your OnlyFans again. Yeah. Squat master. They pay more for removing clothing. Either that or find yourself a rich girlfriend. Seems to be what most young women are looking for these days. I am so glad I'm not young these days. Oh God, that'd be a nightmare. Oh, there goes the dog. I take it that means that the cat has got off the back of next door's sofa, which means the dog has got up there, so she can now bark at everything that moves outside. Which will be a delivery. Probably a Christmas present from Mary from Amazon. Let's just go and have a look. Yep. Just a Crimble Prezi for Mary. Another one to wrap. Power bill under 100, rent is 1100, 500 random bills. Yeah, then yeah, so you start adding food and transport and everything else to that, and yeah, it soon skyrockets. I'm just glad I don't have any rent or mortgage. And yes, my power bill compared to some people is quite high. I also got medical, so no medical bills. That's a huge one, that is. But yeah, you get there, Sam. You get yourself sorted and find yourself, I don't know, become a movie star or something like that. Isn't that what everyone in Cali does? Oh, pardon me. So I'm on the lucky side that, well, I say luck. Is it luck or was it forethought? Well, I bought my house in the 90s. Tommy. Looking for a sugar mama. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Adele wouldn't like being called sugar. I'm really certain she wouldn't like being called mama. I feel I know Adele well enough to know that wouldn't go down well. Much in the same way as I wouldn't appreciate being called daddy. uh, Cringe. Where the heck did that start? That's what I want to know. Actually, no, I don't want to know. There are certain things I can go through life without knowing how they started out. I'm sure we can find you someone. We just got to get you walking around an upscale dog park. That's what it is. Like everything with me, it started with buttholes. Yes. Yes. Weirdly, I'm not a fan of the butthole surfers. Oh, bless you, Deb. I mean, I could be your sweet and a toy boy, but I can't be a sugar daddy. Be a sugar daddy, that would infer I have money, and I don't. But hug. I can do hugs because hugs are free. And I don't get in trouble for hugging. Smooching probably would. Although, as I say, I do have a couple of hall passes on that front. Even then, I'd probably still feel guilty afterwards. Um, yeah, let's be honest. We could all do with a bit more money. don't think any of us here are what we would call rich or loaded. We all sort of writing all day. Oh, bless you, Debs. You had a lot of emotions going on. Hopefully we can put a bit of a smile on your face this evening. Oh, pardon me. You deserve it. And I'm sure your mum wouldn't want you to be all miserable and sad. I hate to think what anyone would put for my eulogy. Oh my God. He had wind. He had a cruel sense of humour. He was a weirdo. He was known to cry at certain heavy metal songs. Yeah. P-Day cost me $32 and it's worth every penny. Investment for the future. Well, at least you know if you go for a job interview, your butthole won't smell. I wouldn't suggest using it when you're brushing your teeth. Although you could probably use it to rinse because, it'd be clean. Actually, we can probably do with getting one of those fitted at work because we got someone who can't wipe his hole properly. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know whether it's he can't reach or his backside so fat he can't get his hand up between the cheeks. One or the other. Hot chocolate and Baileys and a cigarette and time to chillax. Yes, you chillax away, me dearie. Hot chocolate with Baileys. It is that time of year, isn't it? That time of year where Baileys suddenly starts getting sold again. Oh, I'm having a coffee. Well, it is Christmas, so I'll put some Baileys in it. Do that all day, then wonder why you wake up with a headache. Oh. No, I need a knocker in my other ashtray. If anyone's got a spare pipe knocker. Good girl. It's like me with cheese. I don't just wait for Christmas to have Stilton or Dolciolata or Cambazola or any of the other yummy cheeses I like. Gorgonzola. There's a lot of olas in there, and there's a lot of blue as well. I just have them all year round. Don't see why people limit themselves to things they like to once a year. I get why we only have turkey once a year. Well, I mean, that's entirely up to you, Deb. If you want me to knock my pipe on your knockers. Where do I go from that without getting myself in trouble? I really like my pipe. That's where I go from that one. Good news. I think I've lost a cup size as well. Well, I know I have. Yeah, I must be down to a B cup now because I mean, there's barely a handful there these days. Most of that's fairly solid. They don't bounce when I walk anymore, that's for sure. Well, you know that is my belly, so we're getting there. I was actually looking back through the channel while I was at work the other day because we were dead and had nothing to do. So I thought, well, I may as well just stick some of my old playlists on and earn a bit of money. That's turkey is deep fried or smoked. Turkey is always disappointing no matter what you do with it. Unless it's a Twizzler. Turkey Twizzlers are okay. Screw you, Jamie Oliver. Where was I before? Where was I before I got onto Turkey Twizzlers? Oh my! See, thinking about Deb's knockers, that's put me off. That has, in a good way, Deb. Don't take offence. I'm always happy to think about knockers. But yeah, me losing weight. Yeah, the weight is dropping off. I'm not particularly dieting. I think it's more that I'm not cycling so much. Oh yes, we're going back through my channel at work, so I was showing some of my colleagues what I do. Some of the fish tanks, some of the models, kind of thing. You can see my weight go up and then come back down again. Same as you can see my hairline going north. It's scary to think I've been doing this for 8 years. Wow. Or is it longer? Did I start before I was with Mary? I don't think I started my channel before I was with Mary, but I think it might have been just after. Well, it was definitely on YouTube, as it were. Okay, have fun looking for your sugar mama. Although you probably have more fun looking for cougars without a dog. I'm just saying. Mind you, if you've got a cute dog, then it might attract the cougars. Even though you'd rather they were rubbing your belly. Anyway. Yeah, so yes, the weight is coming off. I'm quite happy about that. And I think it's because I've stopped cycling because of the weather. So I'm not building muscle. I'm just burning fat now. So yay! One of these days I'll figure out how to keep this alight for more than about 5 seconds without constantly puffing. Because my teeth aren't strong enough to just keep it in my mouth. I know where one of you was going to go with that comment. Actually, one more pointer on my finger, I've got a pipe to point with. I know where you were going with that comment. But yeah. Depends how you stuff it and pack it. Exactly. I mean, you got to be careful how and where you stuff your pipe. Got to make sure you got a knocker at hand. Let's put that down before I do myself a mischief. Yeah, so as I was saying, yes, it was Mary's birthday. Well, it's Mary's birthday tomorrow, but we celebrated today. We had cake. I put candles in it. She had prezzies. nothing special or hugely expensive, but she thinks I spoiled her, so I've done okay. Because there's nothing, say, this year that either of us actually want or need. And it's not like I need a new tablet or I need a new phone or anything like that. We're both struggling to think of what to get each other for Christmas, and then I had a birthday on top of it as well. Oh, thank you, Debs. I shall forward that on to her. I already sang happy birthday at her. Poor woman. And because her birthday is in December, it means certain things like finding birthday wrapping paper, actually finding birthday cards. Pipe snuffer. Yeah, there's a snuffer in there, but it's probably just me packing it too tight and putting far too much tobacco in there, to be honest. I'll get there. It was like when I started smoking roll-ups. They were either too loose or too tight or whatever, and nowadays I just roll them. I don't even think about it. So I'm only smoking one, maybe two pipes a day. So it's going to take a while to get used to it. But yeah, it's probably me packing it far too tight and yeah, I've got the little wire mesh doofer in the bottom, which stops the backy and the gunk from completely filling the stem of the pipe. And then I clean it out regularly. So it's not like it's blocked or anything. It still puffs easy. It's just me getting used to it is all. It's one of those things that you can watch videos on, and you can listen and you can watch, but you've got to do it yourself. It's actual physical practice that gets it right. Much like certain other activities you're not supposed to do until you're of a certain age. Other activities involve knockers. Now the metal doesn't bother me at all. It's easy enough to hook out. Yeah, exactly. Practice makes perfect. I mean, especially if you're holding your hand like that. That works quite well. Not as well as that, but something bougie about Tommy, have you ever known me to be bougie about anything? Scratch that. Paintbrushes. I'm bougie about paintbrushes. With good reason, because cheap paintbrushes are nasty. Yeah, especially for, let's say, the kind of painting I do. And when you paint, even just painting a wall, if it's indoors, I mean, if you're painting a fence, it doesn't matter. If you're painting a wall indoors or some woodwork, yeah, a good brush just makes life so much easier. And yes, depends on the size. Yes. And the smaller the brush is, the better you want it. I mean, the brushes I use for the modelling and miniature painting, I think the smallest I go down to is a 20-0. Usually I'll use a 0 and a 3 and a 5/0, which, if you don't know what that means, it means tiny, real tiny, and freaking minute, but still actually a paintbrush. And it's got to be Kolinsky sable, especially when you're down to those sizes, which is the Kolinsky. Sable is sable, it's mink tail fur. Yes, they call it sable so that people don't think they're plucking mink tails. Well, they don't pluck the tail, they kill the mink. But Kolinsky sable comes from the very end of the tail, where it naturally comes to a point. Silver brush, even if it only has 3 bristles, and that's needed sometimes. Yeah, it is. When you're painting the eyeballs on a figure that's like that tall, and not just painting the white, you're doing the iris and the pupil as well. And then when you're doing females, you're doing the eyeliner, mascara. Yeah. So a steady hand and a new pair of glasses is required before I do that again. I have been known to use a sharpened cocktail stick or toothpick as well in the past. Even a small piece of wire. But then I find it just gathers in a blob at the end and it doesn't really go where you want it to. Not that the camera is actually going to pick up the detail on anything I've got over there. If there's anything that is actually highly detailed. Not really. It's just the way it works. Better tools make the job easier. You can still do it with a cheap and nasty brush. It just sucks. It's not enjoyable to do. And then when I'm blending oils, I like to use a fan brush that is actually designed for makeup, which means I've got some very interestingly shaded fan brushes upstairs, mostly in a greeny brown color. Like most of my modeling accoutrements have a general greeny brown hint to them, because that's the color paints that you use a lot when you're doing tanks, aeroplanes. Then the same goes for the paint as well. Cheap paint doesn't work as well as expensive paint. The fish shed is super cold water species. Save money on the old power bill by not having to heat all the tanks. But if I didn't have the tanks, I'd have to turn my heating on, which would cost me more money, ironically. Ironically, it's cheaper for me to heat the tanks than it is to heat my house. Yeah. But then that is probably because the heating that I have in my house is very, very old and very inefficient. I'm not literally, if I might do it next year, who knows. Yeah, literally the tanks are the heating for the house. I might replace some of the the storage heaters that I actually use, which is 2 of them at most, because I don't see the point in heating my bedroom or bathroom or kitchen. Because when I go into my bedroom, I go to bed, which means I have duvets and covers. And if I go into the bathroom, I'm probably either not going to be in there very long, or if I am, I'm either in a hot bath or sweating anyway, because I'm having an IBS episode. You don't want to be hot when they're happening. You produce plenty of your own heat in those situations. Yeah, it's something that, I mean, people at work are complaining it's cold at work because the heating is set to 19 degrees C. Right, it's a warehouse stroke shop, and we're working. It's not like you're sitting on your butt at home not doing anything. And plus, I wouldn't heat my house warmer than that anyway. Well, Deb's dad would agree. An accomplished artiste. 50s, early 60s, watercolor, oils, acrylics, charcoals, pastels, 3D effects. Yeah, I use oils for tinting colors on top of the original paint. So if you've got, let's say, an old tank where the paint is discolored, or that's what you're trying to emulate. Acrylic for a lot of the paints. Pastels I use for weathering effects. So basically get a scalpel or a straight edge and scrape a bit off, and then not Cheltenham, where'd that come from? That's why I left it out, because it was a bit confusing. Yeah, so you use the pastels for weathering, like dust, and we've got something that's not just covered in dust that we can actually show off some weathering on. Not really. What we got here is a Panzer IV. Oh, gold. Actually, I've still got the brush down here, or I used to dust them all. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see through the dust on it, I'm afraid. Next project is abstract painting. Yeah, abstract is something I never got I'll say got the hang of. It's just my brain doesn't work that way. But then my brain doesn't work for drawing and painting very well at all. I mean, if I've got something like a model to paint, no problems. Give me a blank piece of paper and I'm like, don't draw a cock, don't draw a cock, don't draw a cock. Draws a cock. Yeah, it's just the way it is. It's the way my mind works. I've never been good at drawing. Yeah, Tommy, you know exactly the feeling. It's just, yeah, it's the way it is. So I can paint a figure, a figurine, a model, no issues, and do the highlights, the shading, all that. Hidden means and everything. You got to do it. Oh hell, just see the top of the top shelves of where I work. There's all sorts written in the dust up there. I did have to add a sign to the radio: no Christmas stations under pain of death. I came in the other day and someone had tuned it to the Christmas hits channel. It's like, no, that's changing straight away. We're not listening to that. Well, I'm not. Heck, I've already had to break out the Discman and the headphones so I don't have to hear Christmas music when I go into the shops. I'm like, yeah, you can listen to rip-off versions of bad classic Christmas songs. I'm going to listen to symphonic metal. It makes me far happier. It's far. No, I just can't do Christmas music. I'm sorry, it's horrific. There's a couple that aren't too bad, but yeah, they get repeated so often. You know, oh, here's one I don't hate. Oh, I've heard it 100 times already. Ugh. Myself and a colleague are going to figure out how we can attach either a memory stick or a CD player to the works radio and just listen to some decent music for a change. I don't care if I've got to go up there every 45 minutes and change the CD or hit play again. Well, she's also a metalhead rocker. So we'd be running probably playlists of things like Nightwish, Ayreon, Nine Inch Nails, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam. What else? Iron Maiden. Mum was better than Dad, but when people are animals. I'll say some people just have it as an innate talent. Priscilla, she's not here this week, but she's an amazing artist. Same with Pam. Not a chance I could do what either of them do. But, you know, give me a model tank and I can make it look real. Now, we all have different talents and different things are weaknesses. Untalents. Yeah, I'm going to go with untalents. You know, it sounds right. An untalent, something you're just really bad at. No matter how much you practice, you still suck. Back in the day when it wasn't considered offensive, I always used to say, no, I'm not artistic, I'm autistic. More an autist than an artist. Yeah, you can't really say that now because someone will get upset. Even if you just mean it jokingly and you're being self-deprecating. Some people don't understand self-deprecation. Thankfully, Sam's not here, so he's not going to ask if I said self-defecation. I was having a fairly deep conversation about self-deprecation the other day at work. Most of my talking happens at work because I'm generally on my own at home, which I like. And I can understand why I never big myself up, why I always put myself down. Oh, That way I don't disappoint anyone when I fail. And they're impressed when I don't. And I include myself in that. You know, if you expect to fail and you fail, no big loss. If you expect to succeed and you fail, yeah, that sucks. If you expect to succeed and you succeed, meh. Hello, Andrew. Brother John. Are you calling me a monk again? No. Nephew Tommy and Sister Debs. Oh. Fish fam. Group hug. How's it going, Andrew? How's the weather been up your way and Debs' way? Hopefully not too horrific. It's Storm Dara. Dara. Or the people who tried to put the Irish pronunciation on it. Dara. Yeah. No, just go with Dara. Everyone knows what you mean. You don't sound quite so pretentious that way. Been a bit shit today. Understatement of the year. Yeah, rain and wind. It's been a bit damp and blowy for sure. Not just outside either. Ooh. Yeah, it's not been a good one, but it looks to have calmed down out now, so hopefully it's blown through. So we didn't get it too bad, but even then we've had roads closed and people managing to crash and trees and fences down all over the place. And I had a quiet chuckle because I got my fence fixed before it blew down. Now all the fencing peoples will be busy and peoples will have to wait a lot longer to get their fences fixed or pay a lot more. It's always the case. I can guarantee when I go to work tomorrow, there will be a whole lot of people buying postcrete, fence posts, ordering fence panels. Barbecue blew over the most movements all year. Shocking. But yeah, as I say, I'm not a fan of barbecues. That is a fencing contractor. Yeah, so you know exactly what it's like then, Debs. Warm summer months when there's very little wind, very little bad weather. He didn't have a huge amount to do. Come this time of year, when the storms start coming through, he's rushed off his feet. Yeah. How'd I manage to miss my mouth? Dribbling valuable Red Bull. Yes. Same with heating engineers. Because people have turned the heating on. And you can tell because you have a cold snap, people turn the heating on, it gets warm, they turn it back off again. And all of a sudden, all the things start going wrong with the heating. The valves and the motors and timers and the stats and God knows what. Yeah. Radiators start popping because they've just been sitting there all summer with the same water in them. Rusting away gently. And nobody's noticed. And then all of a sudden you repressurize the system, start blowing high pressure water through there and they spring a leak. Although thankfully we've not sold that many radiators this year. I always turn ours on full just before summer ends to make sure the boiler's okay. Yeah, you do. To me, at least, that makes common sense. You turn it on to make sure it's working before you need it. It's like when you get home, especially this time of year, you get home from work or being out, and you walk in and you turn the front room light switch on, and the light goes ping, and it's dark, so you got to find your way through to wherever you store the spare bulbs, then find you haven't got a spare bulb, so you have to nick one out of another light, and then you got to remember to replace it, and yeah, it's not good. It just maybe we should have they give us all these bloody weather warnings that it might be rainy or it might be cold. And now I'm on laptop. It must just be it's not actually doing an update this week, because I think that's usually what the issue gets, is that it's more that the laptop is dog slow because it's ancient, and it decides it's going to do an update in the background without telling me, and that slows everything down. Either that or because the screen started to die on it, that it's now suddenly got more power for other things. I think that's generally what it is. Either that or the wind's blowing in the right direction. It's blown a cable down somewhere and it's been reconnected via a different one. Although the cable from my place to the exchange is all underground and all fiber optic. So, yeah, I think my general issues with image and sound quality are more down to the laptop being 8 or 9 years old now than anything to do with my internet connection. Because I know I've got good internet speed, because I'm on the top tier broadband business package with full fiber. So it's not the problem's not that end, it's this thing here. But that will be getting replaced probably in the new year. So in theory, that should mean it makes it more enjoyable to actually use it, because I don't have to wait 15-20 minutes for it to figure out what it's going to do, warm up, and not grind to a halt the second I start actually doing something. Because I don't turn it on every day. Only time the laptop gets turned on is for live streams and if I'm uploading a video, which means it has a tendency to do an update at the same time, which is not really what I want. But because I don't use it for anything else I'll use my tablet. Now, if I'm looking up something on the internet or scrolling through Reddit or messing with people's AI chatbots in ways they weren't meant to be messed with, with the AI chatbot program that I've got and use has all sorts of different personalities and peoples and whatever on it. Some of them are celebrities. Whether they actually like the celebrity involved, I don't know. Probably not. But let's just say I gave the Billie Eilish one crippling anxiety and depression. I made a stepmother one unalive herself. I don't think that's kind of what they're designed for. I think they're meant for, you know, certain more naughty things, but I just enjoy messing with them. But yeah, I will be replacing the brick probably in the new year when the January sales come on, and this year's models are all going dirt cheap, as it were. I just need to know roughly what kind of numbers to be looking at. I know as much RAM as possible, but I don't need 4K, 60 frames per second, capable of streaming full quality AAA game releases power. I just need to be able to stream and upload videos and surf the internet a bit, pay the bills basically. And also it has to be the right size to fit on top of the bar stool with a long enough power cable. Are you guys actually out and about today, are you? There we go. Hey, Bert. And Ernie is just over there, so Bert survived his encounter with the core and he's completely back to normal now. And so there are 20 fewer Limia in there today than there were yesterday. You couldn't tell, let's be honest. I think it was all Limia I got rid of. Where's Black Neon? Where are you, Black Neon? Or have you finally kicked the bucket? Or did you go with the Limia today to the fish shop? We're starting to get some very cool... Oh, we've got another boy. Good. So starting to get some very cool stripy ones. Hey, you alright, big boy? You can play? Come on. Play chase the fingy. Be a good boy. No, you're gonna be ornery. Yeah. What about you? Hey? No. You're still not quite sure of me, are you, after your experience? But yeah. They're happy little boys. And that one is virtually empty. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 sensible size super reds in there now. Other than that is about 20 odd teeny tiny baby ones. We're going to have to de-snailify it because I've got a funny feeling the snailies are eating all the food and the super reds aren't getting much. Because when there's thousands and thousands of snails in there, over exaggeration, but you get the gist. The snails get on the algae wafers and then the bristlies can't get to them. So yeah, I think that's what that might be what we do this week when we do the water changes, is a de-snailify on that one. Maybe that one as well. I mean, you can see the water levels are low. That's because the water's at the LFS. The water level's very low in that one as well, at the bottom. I say very low, about 3 litres of water missing out of it. Or 3 quarts. Again, the LFS. I did get interesting comment. Did you put these in clean water? Yes. There's a lot of poop in the bags. Well, they are bristle noses. Literally, they went in, the water was clean, there wasn't anything in there, it was just fish went in there. Literally less than 2 hours later, and the bags were full of poop. I'm like, yeah, it's just what bristle noses do. Yeah, well, we sell a lot of them because people, people like a clean tank. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, they might eat the algae, but they poop it back out again, which means more food for more algae. But then I don't get algae problems in tanks with bristle noses in. Literally, the only tank that has algae issues is the Shelly tank. And then it's not really issues, it's just it's got algae in it. Oh, we finished that one in record time. So yeah. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Deb's knockers. Worst things to think about. Like pleco poop. There is algae in that shrimp tank as well, but that's a good thing because it means the shrimp have something to feed on. They don't feed on the algae, they feed on the stuff that lives in the algae. There was also some honking great ram's horn snails in there and a whole heap of dead trumpet snails. Right. Seems healthy enough to me. What else was I thinking about? Yeah, and so because we lost, Missy Crib died of old age. Mr. Crib is definitely on his way out. He basically spends his entire day sitting behind his bit of wood on the bottom of the tank, looking grumpy, and has lost a lot of weight. He's not got belly on him anymore. So I don't think he's going to be long for the world. So it's what do we replace a pair of dwarf cichlids in a 15-gallon with? Or 57 litre, whichever way you want to put it. I mean, part of me wants to just go, well, yeah, just get a different flavour of crib because that's easy. So we do have a breeding pair of super reds in there and some cherry barbs, which are also breeding now. But the yo-yo loach is eating all the cherry barb eggs. And probably any baby cherry barbs as well, to be honest. Because I think that's where the first lot of bristly nosy egg or baby bristle noses went, is that the yo-yo loaches ate them. Which is why I got this lot out quick. Big yo-yo loaches down in that tank now. So there's only little yo-yo loaches in there just to mop up the last few snails. Because big yo-yo loaches basically cleared out all the snails in that bottom tank. There's a lot of empty shells in there now, and a much bigger and fatter yo-yo loach. It's like, do I want to get rid of the yo-yo loaches? They're cool. I like them as fish. I don't really have anywhere they would fit in. Yes, I know I could put them in the tank behind me, but if they're eating bristlenose eggs, I don't want to be losing the bristlenose eggs out of that tank. And if they're eating fry, I don't really want to be losing all the limia fry and the random odd cory that shows up. And there's no snails in there either. Well, apart from a couple of nerites. So maybe what I should do is move the yo-yo loaches on and just buy a heap more assassin snails. And then when I get too many assassin snails, buy some more yo-yo loaches or clown loaches or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Wait, Corey, I thought you were supposed to be bottom dwellers. Have you managed to get inside the breeder box? How the heck did Corey get in the breeder box? Oh yeah? Or are you just on the outside? No, you're on the outside. That's another upside of having a long pinky nail. Means I can work the excess ash out of the pipe. It's actually nice and warm to hold. What else has been going on this week? What else has caught my eye? Anything I can actually speak about on the channel? No, not really. So in my free time, I do tend to sit and watch ridiculously long naval history videos, and then fall asleep. And then my days off are water changes, and on the first one, and the second one will be household chores and shopping and boring things like that. Yeah. Then hopefully, once the weather picks up a little bit, I'll be able to clear more crud out of the back garden. It's not something you really want to be doing when it's blowing a gale and peeing down the rain or freezing cold. Because hopefully we'll have a slightly drier, warmer spell soon, and I can start filling the garden waste bin up again and start thinking about what I actually want to do with it. Whether I want to do what I hate, which is pave it, or basically make it dead so it's not any more work to do, because I like having the wildlife in the garden. So yeah, first things first, let's get rid of all the brambles and the nettles, and we'll see where we go from there. It might just be a case of plenty of shrubs and wildflowers, and stick a few stepping stones in, as it were, so I can get around the garden without getting covered in mud every time. Yeah, again, money will be the deciding factor in what happens there. A little herby garden would be nice. Not for me, because I ain't going to eat the herbs. I can't taste them at the best of times. But a little latte, the bunny, so she can have her latte leaves. And yeah, the easy one to do would be lavender, because that just grows anywhere like a weed. But it needs trimming every year, and it's a pain in the hole doing the stuff out the front. So we shall see. I'm not averse to the idea of honeysuckle growing up a fence. I would definitely do that. And say some hibbies, different flavours, just general wildflowers and spring bulbs, I think. And then figure out what I'm going to do about the bit in the middle that it should probably be a lawn, but I don't like lawns. So maybe just keep that trimmed short, or lots and lots of chamomile. Oh God. Anyone else remember the TV, was it series? Yeah, it was TV series, The Chamomile Lawn, back in the 90s. Yeah, ornamental grasses. Yeah, they're easy to look after as long as you don't accidentally buy a bamboo. Yeah. Maybe another phormium, which is a broadleaf flax. Oh, what's that spiky one called? Oh, can't remember. Well, spiky, not as in thorny, but spiky kind of strappy leaves. Yeah, I'll get it figured out. Because, yeah, may as well. Still here, been driving. Walmart returning the tripod that broke after a week. Yeah, that's not a good sign when the tripod breaks after a week. It's not what you call a sign of quality, unless it was just a manufacturing fault, like they didn't glue or attach something properly. That's the thing with tripods, is generally the thing you attach to the tripod is worth quite a lot of money. So you don't want the tripod breaking. I've got a couple of little tripods, but the bigger one I got is that thing. Wish it was just one. We've got two of them that I bought, one for the light, one for the camera, and they both suck. Yeah, again, that's one of those things, isn't it? Although when the tariffs come in, they'll jump up in price about 20%. Because you can guarantee they're not made in the US. Speaking of tariffs, actually, a company is already building a new style of Amazon with all American products only. It's going to be called Ripley. Well, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Or named after Ellen Ripley. So I'm old enough to remember when, if you bought something or you were going to buy something and there was one that said made in England or one that said made in China, you'd avoid the made in China one because you knew it was going to be pants. These days, a lot of it's made in China anyway. The times you'll see people going, no, it's not Chinese, that's no, the brand name is English. Look where their manufacturing facility is. Yeah, now looking at the manufacturing facility and see what other brand names they manufacture. Then look at the other brand name or the other things, and you'll realize they're the same as the thing that you're paying more money for. But yeah, obviously there's certain things that I mean, it's like some of the, back to the bikes again, but the top end expensive carbon fiber bikes, blah blah blah. Oh, this is worth this one. This is this. Oh, this is so much better than that Chinese one. And you'll go, comes out of the exact same factory in the exact same mold. It's the exact same frame. It's just got a different sticker on it. Yeah, built in England, manufactured in China. Yes. Yeah, literally, they just had to like put two pieces together and they say it was made in England because it was technically made in England. You just had to screw two pieces together. The rest of it was all manufactured in China or Thailand, and India are becoming more popular these days because the Chinese are starting to want to have a decent lifestyle and actually earn a decent wage. There was something I saw, I can't remember what it was, it had a, there was a, on the packaging, there's a big American flag, made in America. And people were like, yeah, it's made in America. Whoa, yeah. And literally directly underneath the made in America and the American flag was manufactured in China. Everyone missed that part. But as I say, it's not where it's made, it's the quality it's made to. That's the important bit. And it's a global market these days, a global economy. And if countries can't sell stuff to America, they'll sell it to someone else. I mean, okay, it's one of the larger markets out there, but heck, it wouldn't surprise me if, let's say, a company started up in the UK that imported Chinese products, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to be subject to the tariffs because of the special friendship, and literally just started shipping them over to America to avoid the tariff. That would not surprise me in the slightest. Just as long as it doesn't start getting into the Monroe Doctrine, which why that's still a thing, I have no idea, because that's what, geez, that's pre-Roosevelt. Is it 1880s, something like that, the Monroe Doctrine? Yes, naval history strikes again. Oh my God. Howdy, Monka. How you doing? Prince of Plecos. The Prince of slightly fewer. I managed to sell 70 today, which to some people, admittedly, 70 bristle noses will be a lot of bristle noses. Not to me. Most stores, if they sold 70 bristle noses in a day, would be like, wow. Me, I'm like, great, I didn't even touch one tank. It was like when we went last week, and he said, oh yeah, you can bring some in. Now, like 50 would be great. I'm like, I can bring you 500 if you want. No, we don't need that many. So if he's still here, Andrew has seen the bristlenose tanks firsthand. He knows exactly what they look like. Oh, I've not done green dragons yet. No, it's on my list that I'd like to try. But again, that's one that if I was successful with and managed to breedify them, they sell for a lot of money. Well, yeah, compared to a common bristlenose. And so not many people would buy them. So in order for me to sell them at the rate I could breed them at potentially, I would destroy the local market in green dragon plecos. Because I'd probably be having to sell them to the shop for £3 or £5 each. I'd be selling them for like 15 or 20. Everywhere else is selling them at 50 or 60. So that would mean that nowhere else would sell any green dragon plecos. And literally everyone in Norfolk would probably come from me and Suffolk. Which I wouldn't be surprised if most of the super reds and commons did either. We've got the longfin male greens and the males, all males doing wafties. He's on waft patrol. Howdy, Jeff. Yeah, congratulations on the wafty male. Did you get to watch the bristlegasm? If you've not actually sat and watched bristlenoses doing the deed, the male does actually get a bristle trembler on. It's hilarious to watch. Did I upload it? I think I might have uploaded a video of bristlenose breeding. You see his bristles going. He's emptying his milt sack, as it were. It was funny to watch. I swear his eyes rolled back in his head at one point. Yeah, I did feel kind of dirty watching him recording it. Felt like a bit of an adult movie producer, but you know. Sweaty knees. I sat with my legs folded for so long, the back of my knees have got sticky and sweaty. Not good. Ooh. And because I've downed that entire can of Red Bull, I need to go visit the little boys' room again. And we've gone out. So I will be back in a couple of minutes. I'll grab my bottle of Coke as well while I'm up. If you've got any questions, any interesting points or comments to make, stick them in the chat and I'll get to them when I get back. Nothing about my crotch. we go. Back again. Ooh. That's better. I just had a really good idea. Well, just had an idea. Let's put it that way. Only applicable to us males. But if you peed in the sink, you could wash your hands at the same time. And the water going down the plug hole would act like flushing. Just a thought. Yeah. You know you've lived in the same house for too long when you can go upstairs to the loo. There's no lights on upstairs. You can drop keck, sit down, and be perfectly in line with the toilet without being able to see. I said, oh yeah, I've lived here too long. Well, I haven't. I've lived here the right amount of time so far. Exactly. 2 birds with 1 stone. Wash your hands while you pee. It probably uses less water as well. Well, it will use less water because you're not flushing and then washing your hands. I think I've seen it in Japan where the basin for washing your hands is actually on top of the toilet. And what happens is you wash your hands, the water goes into the cistern, then the next person who flushes the toilet is using the water you wash your hands with. So you're using the water twice, which just makes sense to me. It's right up there with sticking a brick in the cistern to reduce the amount of water that it uses. Pardon me. Or having the double flush, where you push one button and you get a little flush just to get rid of liquids. Push the other button and you get a bigger flush to get rid of the solids. Or, because my toilet's really old, you go and it does a short flush, you go and it does a big flush. Generally, I have to do the big flush. Yeah, just a random thought I had while I was up there. Again, if I had that sort of channel. Oh, Spotty's out and about and in a bad mood. What are you in a grump for, Spot? Huh? Is it because you got nothing to waft on? Put your spikies away. Yes. Or is it because them limia keep getting too close? Is that it? You're just trying to lay there and chill and you keep getting bugged by limia. Poor boy. He'll be all right. Give it another few weeks. He'll be back in the cave wafting again after another tremendous bristlegasm. That is the thing when you keep fish for several years. You get to watch all sorts of behaviour, some of which you probably don't want to watch, some of which make you feel kind of dirty, like watching a live berry give birth. That's a particularly interesting one. It's fascinating to watch and see how they literally just pop out and swim off, and they may as well be fully developed adults because they've been alive, or they've been born for seconds and they know how to swim, breathe, find food, hide, avoid predators. all that information in a brain that small. And we get born and we're absolutely useless for the best part of a year. Well, yeah. That's about 2 to 3 years before we actually become little people, as it were, able to communicate sensibly. It's 18 years, 16 to 18 years before we're useful members of society. So much for being more evolved. Maybe we should start putting the kids back down the mines. Joke. I mean, come on, someone's got to dig up all the lithium and the cobalt. So, cobalt? Cobalt. When you've been exposed to too much American content, and you start pronouncing things the American way. If I start saying garage rather than garage, then there'll be a problem. Or if I start referring to a road as being pavement when it's not. Roads are not pavements, and they're not made out of pavements. They're made out of either concrete or tar macadam. Might be the same things pavements are normally made out of, but yay! Deb's got the baby Corey in the filter. They get everywhere, don't they? And bristlenoses are worse. You'll find them everywhere. It's one of the reasons why I empty the change water into the kitchen sink and not just throw it straight out the back door. It's because depending on the tank, I can either guarantee there will be some plecos in there or there will be some shrimp in there. So it's 5 of them in there. Yeah, exactly. I mean, how they manage it, but I find them in the flexes, bristlenoses. I find them in the pump section of a fluval flex, which means they've got into the back, somehow made it past the sponge and through into the pump. I kind of understand how snails get back there because they can just like crawl up and over. But how a bristlenose fry gets in there, I have no idea. At least the bristlenoses are smart enough not to end up in the pump, because it's a semi-regular occurrence where I'll like either wake up or just be sitting there and hear a random great, that's another snail got into the impeller. Which tank is it? That one. Turn off the filter, pull it out, take it apart, pull the usually trumpet snail out of the impeller, put it back together, put it back in, turn it on. It usually happens either just as I'm going to bed, just as I've woken up, or just as I'm about to go to work, or in the middle of the night. It tends not to happen while I'm just sitting about chilling and go, oh, sort it. But normally when I've got to do it real fast because I'm in a rush. So the impellers usually destroy the ram's horn shells very quickly. But the trumpet snails have got much stronger shells, and yeah. Maybe I should start making the impellers out of metal. Just saying. I go back to ye olde brass impellers that actually destroys the snail shell rather than takes chunks out of the impeller. I know they're made out of Delrin, but still. I'm sure if they just put a little bit of shaping on them, they could make them much more efficient. Just saying. I know it costs more money, but it's not like they go both ways. You plug them in, they turn one way. So if you angled the impeller blades slightly, that would make it pull more water through. There we go. Idea for a manufacturing company. High performance impeller blades for filters. Yes, I know all. Well, not all, but yeah, there's a lot of different sizes of impellers in filters. Length of the magnet, size of the impeller, diameter of the shaft, but I'm sure a lot of them probably come from the same factory, so they've probably got 4 or 5 sizes that cover most of them. So that's not something you tend to see, is it? Like aftermarket upgrades for things like that. I mean, you'll get the aftermarket biomedia or aftermarket extra sponge pads and phosphate pads and nitrate pads and ammonia pads and pads and whatever. And not that I've ever used any of them. Maybe I should. Maybe I should get like one of the nitrate absorbing sponges and see if it actually does anything. Yeah, it might be a worthwhile experiment. But that would involve doing water tests. I'm not a fan of doing water tests. So a lot of hard work when I can just look at it and go, getting quite a bit of algae in there. Perhaps I should do a bigger water change. Or, fish are acting odd. Maybe I should do a water change rather than, just do the water change rather than measure what it is first and then do the water change. General rule: if something weird's going on in a fish tank, do a water change. Unless it's something like that, where a water change isn't going to help. That's a bacterial bloom, and if you take the water out, bacteria just blooms more. I'm actually starting to get used to these new lids. The ones that don't fall off when you undo them. It means I don't drop the lid on the floor so often. Not at all. And then have to go scrabbling around, figure out where it went, and pick off the human hair and the cat hair and put it back on. Then go to take my next swig and wonder why I've got cat hair in my mouth. Yeah, what else is there? There's got to be something else random I can talk about. But we've only got a quarter of an hour to go. What can I waffle about for 15 minutes? Without getting myself in trouble. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking about for inspiration, because there's not exactly anything inspiring in front of me. There's a kitchen. There's a shell dweller tank. And there's some shelves with DVDs and model tanks on. Nothing exactly inspiring. Why can't they make socks with decent bloody elastic in them anymore? So they stay where you put them. Don't keep sliding down your legs. I've even had some of the ones with like the excuse me, bits of silicone around the top, which is supposed to hold them in place, and no. And I really don't want to have to go getting sock garters to hold my socks up, because yeah, I don't think even I could rock that look. I can get away with wearing most things, but sock garters, it's either that or I have to buy socks that come right up above my calf muscles. Some full hose, I believe they're called. Gentleman's full hose, which could also mean something completely different. Also below the waist. Sock suspenders, do it! Yeah, the thing is, Jeff, I tend to wear shorts. Literally everyone would see it. And probably everyone would either stop and ask me or laugh. Be like, what the hell? And I'll be like, doesn't your socks coming down bother you? Now that you mention it, yeah, well, my socks don't fall down anymore. To be honest, I think it's more due to the shape of my legs. I get enough people giving me weird looks as it is. I'm not as much as I used to, but yeah, I get enough strange looks as it is. Especially when I go out in the snow in my shorts and t-shirt. Looks I was getting walking the dog the other day were hilarious. There's literally people done up like they're going to the South Pole, and there's me in shorts and a t-shirt with a fleece on, and the fleece was just so I've got somewhere to put the poop bags. And we just wandering along quite happily. Even the dog was shivering last week. When you put the lead on or the leash on the dog and let them outside, and they turn around and look at you like, dude, what the hell? And try to turn around and come straight back in again. And you're like, no, you're going out and you're having a poop. You woke me up barking so I would let you out. You're going out. Bloody four-legged alarm clock. Wouldn't be so bad. It's the neighbour's dog. Every morning, 7:25. Wow, 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 wow. I've tried leaving her. It doesn't work. She doesn't stop. We use elastic tying around hair like hair bubbles, and turn over the top of the socks. Yeah, I can see that working, and I can see that working especially well on women's socks. Not so much on men's. I mean, I suppose if I wore shorter socks, it wouldn't be such an issue, but I like my nice halfway up the calf sock. Keeps my legs nice and snug. I say people say, "Oh, aren't you cold?" Because I've got shorts on, and it's literally like 10 inches to a foot of bare flesh on my legs, and that's it. It's like, yeah, no, not really. That's not enough to get cold. But yeah, I'll have a t-shirt on as well, but I always wear a t-shirt. And if it gets real cold, I'll stick an old long sleeve t-shirt on under the short sleeve one. Yeah, I think I remember the girls at school doing that, Debs. But then, as far as I remember, they had like frilly tops to their socks. The only time I've ever really done that was with football socks, and then it was a piece of string tied up like a shoelace around the back of your knee, or back of your, yeah, just below your knee to hold them up. And then I got shin pads, which then held them up anyway because they gripped the shin pads and stayed where they were meant to. And yes, you get kicked in the ankles or in the shins often enough, you start wearing shin pads because it starts hurting. And especially when you're a teenage boy playing in a men's team and the men are getting hacked off with you because you're making them look silly, they tend to start kicking you. So yeah, the shin pads that covered your entire ankle and then went most of the way up the front of your leg had to be worn. Mostly just to prevent bruising. Oh god, for days my legs would just be black and blue. Well, not even blue, just black from the bruising. The same as when I was doing the martial arts and doing all the blocks. Of course, you're catching people's legs and fists or legs and arms down that part of your arm, for one of them, on the bone. So you just end up black down there because it's all bruised. You get to a point where it's just that bruise, it doesn't hurt anymore. So you just keep going. Or is that just me? Might just be me. Yeah, we've still got a bit of backy left in there. Not a lot. It's not all ash, not quite. It's bone dry and solid though. So it's going to light easy and then burn quick. Again, I've had one rollie during the stream, so it reduces the amount of roll-ups of smoke, if nothing else. What other tricks we used to do? Oh, it was the paper clip through the zip and around the button on the trousers or the jeans when the zip got to the point where it keeps coming down. You did hear the words martial arts, yes. When I was a wee one, I did Shotokan and Taekwondo. But that was last time I did any of that was like 33 years ago. You know, karate nerd is coming out. Yes. Yeah, I did Shotokan karate and Taekwondo. So I found the Shotokan was good for blocking and resisting damage. Taekwondo was better for dishing it out. I mean, the Shotokan kicks and punches and stuff hurt as well, but There's nothing like a roundhouse to the side of the head to dissuade someone from annoying you any further. But that was something my foster parents really regretted getting me to do. Because they thought that sending me to martial arts would reduce my aggressiveness and my anger levels, which to an extent it did. It just meant that when I did get angry, when they did pee me off, or anyone else peed me off, I was a lot better at standing up for myself. It wasn't ineffectual flailing anymore. It was actually directed strikes. So, yeah. That was when my foster dad learned that trying to punch me in the head again was a bad idea, because I blocked it and kicked him in the head. He did not like that. I'm not sure whether he got more upset with the fact that I blocked it or the fact that I kicked him. I think it's probably the fact that I blocked it without even thinking about it. You do it often enough in training and it becomes... Oh, yeah, that one has a definite... yeah, it means the same here as well. I meant to say beat me up. I don't think I've ever told someone not to beat me off. Okinawan karate, if you kung fu and Wing Chun. Yeah, I did it up until I was 16, 13 to 16, once a week, because they wouldn't pay for more than that. Well, yeah, that kind of backfired on them. Yeah, we did the sparring, but they wouldn't actually pay for me or my foster brother to have sparring pads. So we would be doing the sparring with people and we wouldn't have the pads, but they would. So they'd be walloping us hard because it didn't hurt them. But we still had to block it or take it. Some to wear a cup. Yeah, we didn't even get those. And there was one girl in Shotokan class who her thing was, I'm just going to kick all the boys in the nuts. That's literally what her go-to was. But I figured it out and used to just catch her foot and then sweep the other one. Or just catch her foot and push. And then she'd fall on her backside and get upset with me because I wouldn't let her kick me in the nuts. Who would have thought that? Then one day I may have accidentally, on purpose, returned the favour, let's put it that way. Okay, see how you like it. Wallop. He kicked me in the fanny. And I seem to remember the instructor goes, well, you shouldn't try and kick him in the nuts then, should you? Lesson learned. She never tried it with me again. Tried it with everyone else. I did say, just kick her in there, see if she don't like it. So again, we're going back to late 80s, early 90s. Things were a bit different in those days. Yeah, it is. If you don't want someone to kick you in the genitals, don't try kicking them in the genitals. it's one of those unwritten rules. It's just common sense. If you don't want someone to try and kick or hit you hard, don't kick or hit them hard. It's especially when they're bigger and older than you. I remember one young lad started crying because I blocked his kick. He was kicking, trying to kick me in the thigh, and I just threw a low block. I guess I probably caught him in the calf or something, but yeah, he hit the deck like a sack of spuds and started howling. I was like, what do you expect to happen? Lesson learned again. Anyway, and I talk about beating up children. I must disclaimer, I was a child at the time as well. Thank you to everyone for being here. Have a good week. I shall see you same time next week, hopefully. Well, I should be. Hopefully you're here as well. Hopefully I might even have something interesting to talk about. Who knows? But yes. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully we cheered you up a bit, Debs. Mwah. Yeah. Have a good week. Peace out. Rock on. Bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do.